Hello, this is Julia Greider, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to use OneDrive. So to access OneDrive, there are a couple ways we can get in. One is to go to office.com, and that will give you this list of some of the most commonly used Office 365 apps, which are all apps that are available to us online through our RCC email accounts. Another way to get into OneDrive is to click on this grid of 9 dots up in the upper left-hand corner. This will show up on your Outlook email page as well as on any of these apps when you're using them. So if you click on these 9 dots, you'll see another list of apps here, and you can click on OneDrive here as well. So OneDrive is a file storage app. It stores your files online, which is beneficial for a couple of reasons. One being if your computer crashes for any reason, you won't lose your files if they're stored in OneDrive because they're living on the internet, basically. You can always log into another computer and sign into your OneDrive account, and all of your files will still be here. That's also helpful if you are currently working on a computer at home and you're eventually going to need to go back to RCC and work on your computer there. Because if you store your files in OneDrive, then when you sign into your computer at RCC, you can get them all from OneDrive without having to transfer them from the computer that you're currently working on. So this is the main OneDrive page. You're going to see all of the files you have saved in OneDrive. If you haven't used OneDrive before, this might just be blank, but this is where they'll show up. Notice over here on the left, we have a couple of different tabs. We're currently in My Files, so these are all documents and folders that I've created. Then Recent will give you the files you've most recently looked at. Shared is another useful one to be aware of because this is where any files that other people share with you are going to show up. So another thing that's useful about OneDrive is that it allows you to easily share files with other people in RCC. This is especially helpful if you have a really large file that you can't send over email because it's too big. If you upload it to OneDrive and share it via OneDrive, that will usually work for getting people access to that large file. So if anybody has shared files with you, they're going to show up in the Shared tab here and not in My Files. So to navigate the different OneDrive functions, you're mostly going to be using this the menu across the top here. So first we have this New button. If you click on this, you're going to see Folder here. This is how you create a new folder to help you keep your documents organized. If I click on this, I can put in a folder name, whatever you need there, just hit Create, and then you'll have this new folder right here. And it'll always show up with these blue lines to show you that it's something new, something that you've recently created. When we click on this New button up here, we're also seeing Word document, Excel workbook, PowerPoint presentation, etc. So this is one place where you can create a new document within some of the other 365 apps, which include Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote. These are all just online versions of these apps that you might be familiar with in their desktop versions. So if you want to create a new online Word document, you can do that straight from here. There are also other ways to do that, but this is one of them. And it's also good to note that whenever you create any new online documents like this, no matter how you go about creating them, whenever you create any documents in the online versions of Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, they're going to show up in OneDrive here. This is where they save automatically. So if you're looking for a document that you have created in one of those online apps, this is the place to go. Our next button up here is upload. This allows you to upload files from your computer into your OneDrive. So if I click on files here, it will browse my computer. I can choose a file, hit open, and then it will upload. It'll tell you if there's an error in uploading it or if it uploads successfully. This one's saying there's already a file with this name. That's fine, I'll just hit replace, and then it tells me that it's been uploaded. And we can find it if we scroll down here. Here's this document that we just uploaded with those little blue lines to show us it's new. The next button up here is the sync button. This is referring to the desktop OneDrive app, which you can download onto your computer. And then if you use this sync button to sync your files with the desktop OneDrive app, then you'll be able to access all the files you have in your OneDrive using the file explorer on your computer that you usually use to access the files that are saved on your computer. And the two locations talk to each other completely so that everything is synced from the online app to the desktop app. All right, so the next thing here is if we mouse over any of these folders or files, you're gonna see this little circle showing up on the left-hand side. And if we click on that circle, it's gonna change the options that are available to us at the top of the page. So download is going to be a useful one here. If you want to download any of these documents onto your computer, that's what you're going to hit. You can delete things from here. You can also change the file names using this rename button. And then we also have the share and copy link buttons, which do kind of similar things. So if I click on share, it's going to come up with this box for sending a link to somebody for this document, or I guess we have a folder selected. So if I put in somebody's name here, I'll just put in my own, it'll browse the RCC directory for you, and you can select whoever you're trying to send it to. You can add more than one person if you want. You can also add a message here that'll be sent with the email that they get. And then up here, take note that it's saying anyone with the link can edit. So if I click on, so as it's set here, anybody who I share this folder with will be able to edit all of the items in the folder. So if you don't want them to be able to edit anything, you can click on this and uncheck this allow editing box. And then when you hit apply, it'll say anyone with a link can view. So then they'll be able to see the documents, but they can't make any changes to them. Then we would hit send, and whoever you've put in here will get an email in their inbox with a link to the folder or the document that you're trying to share. And then they'll be able to access those going forward from their shared tab over here. Another thing here is we also have the copy link button down here. If you click on that, it'll just generate a link for you. And if you can click copy here, and then once you paste that into an email or wherever you want to share it, the people with this link will also be able to access this folder here. So the copy link button up here does the same thing that we were just looking at. It creates a link to share the folder, just like this. One other place to click for some things is whenever I mouse over any of these folders or documents down here, we're gonna see these three dots over here on the right. If I click on those, it's gonna open this menu of some more options of things we can do with the folder. A lot of these are repetitions of the buttons that are up at the top. So again, we can share from here, copy the link. You can manage access to these documents. So that'll allow you to work with the settings, the sharing settings on this folder to make sure that that it's being shared with the correct people and they have editing access if they need it and all of that. You can download, delete, move files, rename them, all of that. So this is just another place to go if you're trying to do something with your files and you can't find a button somewhere else. And that's pretty much all there is to OneDrive, at least on a basic level. So if you have any further questions about things you can do in OneDrive, feel free to send me an email at jgreider@rcc.mass.edu.